Okay, we're on live.
All right. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope everybody is doing well. If you're here live, thank you for taking time out of your night. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for taking time to watch this. I'm Ellen Winn. If you haven't met me yet, you probably are seeing my emails. I'm your senior team leader. I've been with DAC over 6 years. And I'm super excited to be here as your team leader. If I didn't personally enroll you, that means that someone in my organization signed up through someone in my organization and enrolled you, right? It may be someone that I personally enrolled, like Harlequin, or it could be someone several levels deep in my team. Wherever you are, if you're getting my emails, then I'm happy to help you. Always your best chain of support is to go to your enroller if they're actively involved in DAC to try to get your questions answered. If they can't answer your questions, then work upline. It may be to Harlequin as your first team leader, or it may be to me because there's no one between you and I who are actively working DAC. And I find that's the case. Being here 6 years, I literally have signed up. I have a team of over 16,000 agents. Okay. Now, only a small portion of those agents are active, but over 6 years, over 16,000 people have come through the organization in my agency network. So I'm glad to be that leader that is still staying connected or keeping you guys connected, because I hear from people every day that signed up 2 or 3 years ago and they're trying to figure out how to get plugged back in. And I tend to be that glue that holds things together outside of DAC support. So welcome. We do these Zooms every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, giving you guys an opportunity to have face-to-face conversation, get questions answered, concerns, any issues that you're running into, challenges, or if you've got success stories that you want to share, we want to hear those as well. Tonight is the 26th of the month, and we're headed into the last few days of the month. So I want to make sure you guys are on track to finish out the month strong. You see, in the DAC plan, and I want to pull up our compensation document and point out a couple of things here about how our information is tabulated, calculated, and so on. I'll get that up and then I'll get us into screen share. Come on, plus sign. There we go. Get that bigger. All right, and screen share mode. All right, are you seeing? Is that showing my screen, Harlequin?
Not yet. It's still showing black.
That is so weird. That's what was happening the other day when I was trying to show a document with the corporate Zoom. Are you aware of a setting on there that has changed in Zoom that's not allowing me to show that screen?
Let's see. I don't know because it says I'm viewing your screen, but
Hmm.
it's showing up black.
Yeah, I'm on the. How about now when I'm on the Agent Resource Center?
I can see your pointer and that's it.
Interesting. That is so weird. Okay, well, I guess we won't be doing the screen share. I don't know why that's doing that. It played fine when I did the business presentation slides. I went through a test mode with that the other day after we were showing black screen on the health share training. And then it showed fine on those. So I don't know what the difference is. If any of you know what that might be, what's causing that, certainly raise your hand and let me know. Okay, but I can still talk about what I'm wanting to cover. Okay, I'm looking at the compensation plan document, and on that, it talks about our month end. And month end is calculated at midnight Pacific time on the very last day of the month. What does that mean? That, everything that we do rank wise, and ranks determine how many levels deep you get paid in your organization. You've got to have at least 50 in personal client revenue. 50 is the beginning number for you to be able to earn on your team. Anything that has been produced over the month, when you end the month with at least 50 in personal client revenue, otherwise known as personal residual revenue, then you're eligible to get paid 3 levels deep in your sales team. And if you don't have 50 in personal client revenue, now's the time to get busy and get at least 50 points in, or $50 worth of revenue in before the end of the month. So on the 15th of next month, when residual commissions get paid, the computer's going to look back and say, okay, we have Lisa on here, and it's going to look back at Lisa, and it's going to say, okay, Lisa, what was Lisa's volume during the month of August? On the 31st at midnight Pacific time, what did she close out the month with? Okay. And if that number is over 50 in personal revenue, then on the 15th of September, when residual commissions get paid for activity that took place in the month of August, then Lisa's going to get paid 3 levels deep on her team. If she has 100 in personal revenue and has 3 teams all combined with 250 in personal revenue, no more than 100 in each individual leg, then she would be considered a team trainer. Team trainer is the building block of our company, and Lisa would get paid 4 levels deep on the organization. Now, guys, we're running in, for those of you that have been here, if you were here and you signed up before July of last month, if you've signed up anytime before then, you have, I'm sorry, July of last year. Yeah, everybody that was
you
here,
were right the
everybody
first
that
time,
was here
Ellen.
prior to the announcement of this thing. So July, if you signed up July or before, you have until the end of August to get qualified as super trainer. What is super trainer? We're covering it in every meeting that we have. It is the getting yourself to team trainer, which is 100 in personal client revenue, 3 teams, a total of 250 or more in team revenue, no more than 100 in any one leg, and then you personally getting to 100. That's team trainer. But to get to super trainer by the end of the month, maybe I'll try these slides and see if these will show. Let me do screen share again, Harlequin, and see if this will show up. At least we'll have a visual. Zoom. Try screen share again. Maybe it's just PDF documents that don't want to show. Let's try this and see. How about now?
It went to black again.
Black screen. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that and figure out what's going on with that. Okay. So anyway, we've got until the end of this month, until August the 31st, to get to super trainer. And that means you get to team trainer in the comp plan, but you get to 200 in personal revenue instead of just 100. Okay. I'm already there. I opened up this month already qualified. I opened up last month already qualified. But many of you are sitting on the cusp of getting to super trainer and getting that 8th level qualification, which will pay you for years and years to come. But if you don't do it by the end of August, you're going to forever miss out on that opportunity to get paid and qualified on 8 levels of pay in the residual income plan versus 7 levels of pay. And if you've watched our new business presentation, when David goes through, or I, or Wade, whoever's doing the live presentation during the week, when we go through the 4 steps of getting started and show getting to super trainer in your first full month. So if you're here, you were here before August, before July, then you have until the end of August. If you signed up in August, sometime this month, you have until the end of September. Anybody that signs up in September will have until the end of October. So the end of your first full month, you get the remainder of the month you sign up, plus the end of the next full month. to get qualified at the super trainer rank to get 8th level qualified. But if you've seen the 4 steps of getting started, that 8th level can be way more people on just 8th level than your entire 7 levels combined, because of the nature of how our business grows. You got 3 who get 3, and the organization typically gets wider and wider the deeper it goes in depth. So you'll potentially be missing out on hundreds, potentially thousands, or potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I'm telling you, if you don't go get yourself qualified. So tonight, I just want to instill in you the the need for speed in finishing out this month and finishing strong. I know I've been involved in several businesses over my 20 plus years in direct selling, home-based business, network marketing models. And whenever I've been pressed with a challenge, a time-sensitive challenge, I can't tell you a time that I haven't achieved that goal that I was going for. You know, whether it was going for a car program that had to be X amount had to be achieved in a certain period of time. I qualified for the car program with another company. With DAC, back years ago, we had a program called Service Star. I was one of a few people in the company that qualified for Service Star because I locked in on what I needed to do, and I got it done. When we did the 7 level bump up, we had a deadline on that. I qualified for that. One of few people in the company that did it. I qualified for a long time ago, qualified for the super trainer. What else have we had that's been time sensitive, Harlequin, that I'm missing out on? Anything that's been time sensitive and volume oriented, when there's a deadline, I've achieved it. And it just comes with locking in on what that goal is and doing whatever all out massive action is necessary to make it happen. So tonight, if you're missing the volume that you need to get qualified at Super Trainer, which is 200 in personal client revenue, you need to make a list. And in that list, you need to go, okay, what am I going to focus on? Here's the services you need to focus on. If you've got a funding client in process right now and a funding deal goes through, that'll be immediate volume. If you don't already have somebody in process, or you don't have some good leads on who a funding client might be, you're really pushing it, because tomorrow is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You really got 3 days left for most to get a funding deal through that's going to count for this month. The last day of the month is on Saturday. And if you're counting on funding, it's got to get funded on, actually, it's got to get funded on Thursday, or that volume won't be in your back office. So it's got to get funded on Thursday and show up. It might, if you had something get funded early Friday morning, you might see that volume, but I wouldn't count on funding unless you get it done in the next couple of days. The other services that you want to be looking at are identity theft protection. That shows up immediately. RX program shows up immediately. And that's really your only options. Healthcare won't show up unless you've already got a client that signed up with a start date of July the 1st, and it should be in as of today. Healthcare clients were put into our back office. Excuse me. So healthcare payment processing, that's a long, slow process. Payment processing customers have already been posted for the month. That's it. ID Protect, RX plans, and funding if it happens in the next couple of days. So if you know that those are the services you need to focus on, how do you go about getting that done? Okay. All right. Just clear out everything else and say, all right, I'm focused on RX customers. Go look at your compensation plan document, and you can see that an annual RX customer is worth 110 residual revenue dollars. Okay. 2 annual RX customers can get you to 200. Okay. Just that simple. So think, who do you know? Who have you not contacted about our RX plan? My guess is many of you have not contacted anyone about the RX plan, or you've made contact, but you're trying to sell instead of asking questions. Selling will push people away from you, but tell stories. I always open up with a question, and then I typically ask another question. Sometimes I ask 3 or 4 questions before I get to the point of my questioning. And that question is, hey, do you know anyone spending more than $20 a month on prescription drugs? If they say no, then I usually follow that up with a story, something on the lines of, wow, I said, you're lucky if you're not spending that, or you don't know of anyone that is. But so many Americans are really hurting today because of high price prescription drugs. The average household is spending $1,600 a month, a year on prescription drugs. So we've got a solution to that to really ease some of that financial stress. So if anybody does come to mind, please keep me in mind, where I've got a great resource and a solution for them. I have found that a lot of times when I tell that story after they have said no, then they're going, well, come to think of it, they may come up with someone, or they say, well, tell me more. What is that solution that you have? So you just got to get the conversation started. Don't lead with, hey, I've got this RX program and it'll save you money on prescription drugs. You got to find out if there's a fit for that program first. The RX customers, like I said, an annual plan is worth 110 in residual revenue dollars to you. You could sell 2 of those and you would be set for this month. You'd have to go do it again next month. The goal is to get customers that are going to sign up and be on a subscription basis month after month after month. But if you're trying to meet your month end goals, then go for it. Do whatever it takes and find the customers that can help you. The same thing with the identity theft protection. Annual plans start out with our standard plan. It's worth 50 in residual revenue. So you could go get 4 annual plans on the standard, and that would get you to the 200. Now, outside of you having 200 personally, you got to make sure that your team is getting the volume too. So huddle up with your team. If they're not on here, then get them to watch this replay, or you sit down and draw circles out with them. That's how I've always done this business. I've done training by watching stuff being drawn on a whiteboard, which David Rutz does a lot of that drawing. And I've just taken notes after notes after notes. I have a 3-ring binder that I have to replace pages with because I've got so many notes in my DAC book, my notebook, right? So, just go through and make a list. Who is that list? Are you going to try to reach out to people that you don't know and you got to get a trust relationship with them? No. You need to first reach out to people that are nearest and dearest to you, people that are close to you that you already know whether they're taking prescription medications or not, okay? Reach out to them and ask the question. Again, don't come across salesy. Ask the question in a manner of wanting to help, because that's genuinely what we're doing. We're helping people save money if they're spending more than $20 a month on prescription drugs, all right? So do that. Reach out to your warm market. The majority of my customers, and I have more customers in everything except for funding than anybody else in DAC. Why? Because I'm always talking about DAC, right? Everybody around me knows that I have DAC business. Everybody knows I'm in the funding space or business services, and that we have a healthcare division. So I'm not being a secret agent out here, but all of my customers come from either warm market that have personally signed up through me, or they have referred someone to me. Okay. Some of them are a business connection, a banking connection through business may send me a client or referral. Or I have had some people find me on Google just because I've got an organic presence on Google because I've put content out. But most of my business comes from warm market. So I'm not out here trying to cold market, trying to get strangers to know, like, and trust me to be able to do business with me. I'm reaching out to the people that I already have a connection with. And most people, you have someone that knows you and likes you, they want to help you win. So use your ability and influence with people that you already have in your circle, your tribe of folks. Reach out to those people and let them know you can help asking those questions. Okay, I'm going to open up for any questions that you guys have. Any questions on getting to the month end? Any questions on what you're saying? Maybe you've said something to someone and got a rebuttal, some pushback. I'm open to those questions. Harlequin, if you've got anything, please address that now. If you see anything in the chat there, what you got going?
There's nothing in the chat. Uh,
Nothing in the chat. Oh, my speaker's down.
at least not unless it was sent directly to you. But no, I know one thing that Eric Worre had suggested to people, and he actually did something last week, which I unfortunately missed, but go and send out 100 messages to people in your phone. Because that much action, you're bound to get some results. And you don't start off with, oh, hey, I have a identity theft program or an RX program or business funding. Just reach out to them and say hello and, hey, what's going on? Want to check in with you. And just start a conversation.
Okay, so let me ask you something, Harlequin. 100 is probably an overwhelming number for the majority of people listening to this, especially if they don't have a single customer. So can we break that down into simpler terms instead of 100? What if you just reached out to start with 10? 10 is a doable number and get the conversation started, right?
Yeah.
What happens there when you get the
Well,
conversation started?
um, one thing I will say, we do have a deadline of Saturday. So maybe try and do a little bit more than 10. But yeah, you can just do something as simple as saying, hey, I was scrolling through my phone and, realized I hadn't touched base with you in a while. Obviously start off with people that you talk to more often, and that's a little bit easier of a conversation. But you can go and just touch base with them and ask them what they're doing. In return, they're going to ask you what you're doing.
That's true.
And it's like, hey, what are you doing for work these days? Or is there anything exciting happening in your world? And they're going to ask you the same thing. And then it's a very simple, oh yeah, I'm working with this company and we have this phenomenal flat fee pharmacy program that we've launched. Are you paying, are you or anybody that you know paying more than $20 a month for your prescriptions each month? And it's, a simple conversation at that point. But you can start it off with just sending a text message. Calling is going to get a faster response, but if you don't, say for example, you're super busy and the only time you have is, you know, not a good time for most people to talk. Although text messages, you want to be careful. You don't want to send it too late in the evening because some people do get offended. I've had some people make comments that, this person sent me a message at like 11 o'clock at night, If you don't know the person well enough to know that they're open to having conversations that late at night, you don't want to send a message to them. For me,
That's
it's not a problem, but for other people, it is.
And for me, I have to turn my phone off because I have people reaching out all hours of the night. Okay, so great comment there. On the Eric Worre methodology there, I will caution you, if you go that approach that Harlequin just explained that Eric covers on getting that conversation started, if it's someone that you haven't talked to in a long time, it could be a very lengthy conversation because if you're presenting it that you're genuinely trying to catch up with them, it could be a long conversation and you may not be able to get through the numbers you are. I personally don't like going that route. I don't like to set the pretense that I'm trying to catch up with them and then I'm popping business in there. So here's what I do. I typically just send a text message. When we first launched the RX program, I thought of 5 people in my phone. I may have sent out 10, but I sent out messages and I'm going, okay, so-and-so needs to know this. So-and-so needs to know this. And I sent out that question. Hey, are you guys spending more than $20 a month on prescription drugs? I sent it to my closest friends and every one of them replied back to me. Nobody left me in the dark. If I'm reaching out to someone that I haven't talked to in a while or want to have a little bit more of a conversation, I may send them a text and I'll say, hey, you got a minute to chat? Question mark. And I don't send anything else. I don't try to call. I don't want to call them when they can't talk. So I'm asking that question on text, got a minute to chat? And if they say yes, then I'm calling them right then, right? Or a lot of times they'll turn around and call me right back. So that's how I move through the process, but I make it all about business. You can do what Eric is teaching, you can do that, but it takes time to go through the numbers, and you're on a time crunch here, then you need to be all about business. And also, if you're making that touch and base, hey, I'm going through my phone and I ran across your number. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I got a question for you. Do you know anyone spending more than $20 a month? And the next thing on that can be, I'm working on a community project. Write this down. Everybody wants to help their community these days. I'm working on a community project helping people save money on prescription drugs. Prescription drug cost is a crisis in our nation today, and I've got a solution to help people if they're spending more than $20 a month. So talk about the benefits and how we're helping people with what we have, and you'll get someone's ear and they won't feel like they're being sold anything. If you can passionately talk about that community project and you're really trying to bring awareness to this program to help the people that are suffering and having to overpay for prescriptions. So that will be my pointers for you on getting that message across. Okay. Any questions before we wrap up? I don't want to make this too long and lengthy. We got a good day lined up tomorrow. We've got healthcare updates at 11:30 tomorrow. I'll be leading that. We'll be talking about healthcare and RX. And then at 1 p.m. tomorrow, I'll be doing a business opportunity overview. At both of those tomorrow or at daczoom.com. And then tomorrow night at 9 p.m., our CEO and founder, David Rutz, will also be doing a live business opportunity overview. So we want to finish this month out strong with our recruiting. We've been on a recruiting blitz on our leadership Zoom today with our team trainer and above leadership Zoom. David was asking, hey, what do you guys want to do? Y'all want to keep doing this blitz schedule every single day? Honestly, we're not seeing the numbers of people show up on there that we need. I'll get to you in just a second, Lisa. Thanks for raising your hand. We need more people participating. Here's the deal. If there's a Zoom going on and, the numbers aren't growing every day, then you've got people that are either lazy and not participating, or they're just not trying to drive the business. We're doing this and spending our time to help drive the business, not just my business, but driving your business, right? If you guys win, I win as a team leader, but I'm putting in the time and effort to help you guys succeed and sharing my experience and expertise over the years and knowledge about DAC and knowledge about team building and knowledge about building a business in general. We put time into this. David Russ taking 45 minutes out of his day, 5 days a week to be on and do presentations. It's because we're servant leaders and we want to see you guys succeed. But we're not going to keep doing that, just to get on camera and talk to ourselves. So I need you guys to plug in with that and run with us. And you come to our presentations and then bring guests with you. And I know a lot of you are on here at night and you can only be on in the evenings because of a daytime work schedule. And I appreciate and understand that. But please help get the message out. If you have teammates that are able to get on at 1 p.m. to that live biz op, then get them to take a later lunch break if they're on East Coast, and make that 1 o'clock their live lunch break where they're watching and participating in that live Zoom. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Lisa. Hey, how are you doing tonight, Lisa? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Good
I
seeing
am
you.
great. I am great. Just a quick question I wanted to ask. Is there like a script for the identity protection you brought up earlier?
I don't know. Harlequin, is there one in the Agent Resource Center? You want to look for that?
Okay, I'll look.
Or what would you, a best way you would suggest in bringing that up?
Well,
I mean,
so,
it's definitely.
yeah, identity theft is the #1 crime in the world these days. Identity theft protection. If you're going on this at the end of the month and you're trying to close out the month, you could do can you do me a favor if you're talking to friends and family members and say, hey, I got a question for you. Do you guys have any type of identity theft protection? Are you guys protected in case somebody gets into your finances or does fraud on your accounts? Most people don't. Most people that have that type of protection are the ones that have the free protection that their bank has given them because their bank has been breached or some company has been breached, and they're forced to provide 1 year of identity theft monitoring service. But most of those services don't provide what we do, which we provide full restoration. So if there is a breach, we're going to have licensed agents that are going to go to work and restore and get that person's identity back to whole where it was before the breach occurred. I know from my years in the business space, when I first got started with Legal Shield in 2010, 14 years ago, I learned about identity theft being the #1 crime. So you've got all sorts of pieces there. But back to your question of, is there a script? If you're talking to a friend or a family member, you could ask that, do you have this? Or you could say, hey, could I get you to do me a favor? I'm trying to close out a month with my company. We've got a promotion going and I'm really working hard to achieve that promotion. Could you do me a favor and help support me in this? And they'll say, well, sure, Lisa, what do I need to do? And say, well, I've got a couple of services. If you'd be willing to be my customer and try one of these services, and you could ask them, give them a choice of the prescription RX plan. Are you spending more than $20 a month on prescription drugs? Or do you guys have identity theft protection, monitoring, and restoration? Those are the keys. That it's not just monitoring, but it's restoration. And it also includes Bitdefender, which is I've got it on my computer here because I have DAC Protect. I'm my own customer. Guys, if you don't know, you can be your own customer with this. I have DAC Protect. I have healthcare. I'm my own customer on both of those. Our payment processing for my limousine company. What else do I have? That's it. I've never gotten a funding product, but I have those 3 things where I'm my own customer each and every month. Oh, and the prescription plan. I have the prescription plan. Even though I don't need it, I bought it because I wanted to be able to show people my back office on there. So I'm a RX customer of my own. But Bitdefender, that way you've got computer protection against all of the hackers and everything. And it's a great program. It's one of the best programs there is out there. And those aren't free. That's a paid service. So that comes along with the membership free of charge. It's included. Okay.
Okay.
All
Good to
right.
know. Thank you.
Harlequin, did you find a script in there?
There is not, but there's a couple of brochures in there and product user guides that I would highly recommend you take a glance at it, and it will give you some good, let you know what's covered. But I was trying to find the information on it. I think I had mentioned this the other day or last week. There was a recent social security number breach with a company that a lot of companies around the world actually use to do background checks for people. And it was something like 1 billion people, their social security numbers were exposed along with other information. So right now, it's a huge potential problem for a lot of people. But
I think that script is in there, Harlequin. Can you do me a favor and give it a try? Another thing you want to use on that, Lisa, is could you help me out? Do me a favor and give it a try. Sign up, and if it doesn't work for you, there's no long-term commitment. You can cancel it after 1 month, right? So that's going to be a key thing for you to put that in there. Because most people, if they sign up, if they activate it, they're going to stay with it because they're going to see the alerts coming in, if it's ID Protect or on the prescription plan, then if they sign up and use it, then they'll see, wow, this is awesome. I don't have to go to a pharmacy to pick up my medications. All right, I've got a question here from Harlequin answered it. Can my downline in red have until the end of September? Yes, they do. Okay, great question. I'm glad you asked that, Ronald. We've got renewals that are up, not just the month of August here as we're trying to close out the month with numbers, but if you have a team and you look at your downline team members and you see their name in red, that means they're inactive. If they've been inactive, if they were here before April of this year and they've gone inactive, they're at the end of their 6 months. And end of September is going to be the deadline for them to renew and just log into their back office and acknowledge their renewal. Otherwise, they're going to be deleted out of the system. If they have a team, they're going to lose their team permanently. So be looking at your team, and as you're going through connecting with people in your organization, if they're in red, walk them through logging into their back office to get reactivated there. Okay. They redacted phone numbers. I'm not sure what that means. Have you seen that, Harlequin?
I haven't
Phone numbers
seen
been
that. Let
redacted?
me double check.
Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap up and let you guys go on about your evening. I'll let Harlequin look that up real quick.
Yeah, just give me 1 second here.
I see some regulars on here, and I also see some new names. So that means that you are new to our call, at least, if not new with DAC, and we welcome you. Again, this is a weekly team Zoom that we do. This is in addition to all the other training that's there in our Agent Resource Center. You want to go through that basic training. And guys, if y'all have not seen the getting started training and the funding training, if you've not seen the updated training and the updated business presentation in the past 3 weeks, if you've not watched that full updated training series, then you need to go to the Agent Resource Center to the Getting Started section and watch the updated Getting Started training, the updated business funding. We've got a third funding partner back in the mix on our intuitive app sequence there. So you want to get up to speed on it. And especially if you're recruiting, you want to be up to speed on it so that you know the process that your new team members are going through. If you haven't seen a live BizOp, go watch the business presentation on your partner page. It's been updated. It's short, to the point, does a great job of covering our services. And if you haven't heard, coming up next month, we're going to be launching licensed health and life insurance products. So you want to pay attention to that because that's going to really create a flurry in your organization if you have a team. All right, did you find that, Harlequin?
Yeah, Ron, they are not redacted. They're in there. If you're looking at it on your cell phone, it may not be showing up on there.
Sometimes you have to
Maybe
scroll
going
over
off
to
the
right of the
screen.
screen. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of because I'm seeing all the phone numbers on my team, but it is on the far right. So it could be that it's not fitting on your screen.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for looking into that one. All right, guys, we appreciate your time tonight. We hope to see you on our live Zooms tomorrow. Remember, we got 3, 11:30 healthcare, 1 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock BizOp overviews. Okay. Have a blessed evening. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Take care, everyone.